Hi, welcome. It's Kenny Russell, Bulldozer Faith, living life in the Spirit. We're on the Planting Seeds of Light tour here in the USA. We're in Greenville, Tennessee, and we're having such a blast as we're seeing what the Father is doing in the land and in the nations. I've got Miketz with me here today. Miketz, how are you? Welcome.
Hi.
We're talking about testimonies of what it's like coming into the Hebraic roots of the faith. I want to ask you the question, how long have you been walking in the feasts and in this lifestyle?
Um, 13 or 14 years, I believe.
Excellent.
2002, I believe. Yeah.
2002. Well, tell me a little bit
Jason.
about the beginnings of that. What led you into this experience?
Okay. I was from a traditional church,
Uh huh.
and I wanted to know Jesus more.
Uh
I
huh.
wanted a personal relationship. And I really didn't understand about the Holy Spirit. So I ended up visiting a church, James Avenue Baptist Church, pastored by Steve Fish, who is Dr. Fish's son from the seminary. And I got a taste of the charismatic,
Uh
which
huh.
was totally new to me. And I was so excited. And I mentioned to my friend at the Remax office, at my Remax office, we were realtors. I said, "This Pentecost, something wonderful is going to happen. I just know." And I said, "I don't know what I'm going to do." And she said, "We have something special happening for Pentecost." And she said, "It's called Pentecost at the Park
Right.
in Bedford, Texas." And this was in 2002 for Shavuot. And I went, and there was a speaker there that I could hardly understand a word he said, and his name was Rami Daniele. And I learned about the Sabbath, and of course it was Shavuot. I learned about that, and I got to dance my first Israeli dance.
Wow.
And I went home and checked out the Sabbath and the Strongs and everything, and they said you can come on Friday nights, and then Rami taught on Saturday nights, and he taught us Jesus in the Old Testament, and he taught us that Jesus was Jewish,
Right.
and it was the most exciting and most wonderful thing. And since then, um, I have gotten the relationship. I've gotten to know what it is to learn
Amen.
to
Yeah.
know who he is, and so I've gotten to have that relationship that I sought after, and to hear from him in uh, a way I would have never expected.
Wow.
And
It's
it's very
amazing.
exciting because
Yeah.
now here in the middle of I've been in Tennessee. I married my husband and moved to Tennessee in 2007, and there were two or three couples here forever. And then this wonderful pastor Scott has started a congregation here, and at Hanukkah he had 170 people, Hebrew
Wow.
roots people, and we have prayed so hard to have fellowship here, and we've been so blessed.
That's
And then
awesome.
this week was so cool. And actually, even today, I got to witness today. I was going through the scriptures, and all the questions that I was asking the Lord, you hit them all tonight.
Amen.
That was very exciting. And I love to see how he
Amen.
moves, but he moves in his word and in
Yes.
his ways,
That's
not
exciting.
in supernatural.
I love what you said there. You know, Daniele, he's actually one of my neighbors
Yes,
back in Israel. You know, we
yes.
live
I love Rami.
just down the road
Hi,
from each other.
Rami and Gabi and Orly and Marav and Michael. I miss
I'll let
you.
them know that you say hi
Oh,
to
and I
them.
have Belvedere here. Oh, I wish I could go get him. I still have my little 3-pound Yorkie Belvedere. He's never missed a feast yet.
Excellent. Now, obviously, coming back to Torah and coming into these things, it wasn't an experience of you losing your joy or losing the
Oh,
excitement
no.
of life
Oh,
in the spirit or with Yahovah. Would you say following the Torah and keeping the feasts has
oh,
transformed your world,
oh.
especially?
It is my world.
Yeah.
I know my parents asked me, "Don't you ever think of anything besides God?" And I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah.
No, what I have found is your life is complete.
Yes.
Marriages are a completely different thing in Torah. Families, I love. I have a little 12-year-old boy that comes and helps me on my farm,
Right.
and I love hearing the reports from his mother or his teacher at Sunday school or his father about how he's changed since he came to my farm.
Amen.
And I don't know what I do or say, but he comes to Shabbat, and his mother even came to Sukkot.
Amen. Yeah.
And it's just really fun that our lives um, can actually bring people to wonder, what is it you do?
Well, they see you walk in a different way
Yes.
to what they're used to seeing.
Yes.
And I love that the fact that in this journey that you are experiencing, you're seeing more joy. Because many people say if you go back to Torah, you're going to lose your joy. And they try and warn people not to go back to Torah. But your testimony is exactly the opposite.
Exactly. The difference is how you go back to the Torah. If you
Okay.
go back to the Torah legalistically, what I find is, and I hate to say this, but most people that go into Judaism out of going back to Torah, they might not have ever really known Yeshua in the first place.
Right.
Because if you really know him, my mantra, and I hate to say that word, I really do, because I wanted, as I was learning about this,
Yes.
to be sure that nothing conflicted with what I believed, I would have this saying in the back of my mind, and that was, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? And if anything conflicted with that,
Yeah.
then I knew that I needed to search further.
See, it's amazing with what you're saying. Some people think when you go back to Torah, you have to leave Yeshua behind.
no.
But what you're doing is you're taking this journey through Torah with Yeshua because he is the Torah. He is the
Okay.
Word that became flesh and dwelt amongst us.
Of course, I had the advantage of, and I know I love Rami, but I had the advantage of a Jewish man that comes, and he didn't tell me anything about Torah.
Right.
He told me about Jesus in the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
He showed me all through David's life, as he taught, and he showed me basically, honestly, and I don't worship a man, honestly, but I saw what Yeshua would have looked like,
Right.
a Jewish man with a Jewish life, who then explained and love.
Amen.
He taught us love. So I had the advantage of having being blessed with an Israeli that happened to come over here and teach
Amen.
of what a Jewish Messiah really looked like. And then I could see myself as, well, if everyone in the New Testament, the disciples and Jesus, was Jewish, keeping the Feast of Dedication and all this stuff, where did I fit in? And so I could find myself in Cornelius.
Yeah.
And what was Cornelius doing? He was doing the daily prayers, and God spoke to him. So, some of my questions I had for the Lord today were about being grafted in.
Right.
And we are grafted into the olive tree.
Amen.
And we're a wild branch, but we're not grafted into something new over here. We're grafted into what has always been from the beginning.
That's right. And we receive our identity in who he is. I want to thank you for sharing with me
Thank
today.
you.
It's great to hear your testimony, to see your joy and your love and passion to make a difference and see Yeshua right back in the book of beginnings.
Oh,
I
yes.
want to thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Capture the moment you ask me to. Capture the moment you ask me to. Capture the moment you ask me to. Let him hear what the Spirit has to say. Capture the moment you ask me to. Let him hear what the Spirit has to say.